Welcome everybody to Rob's MetalWorks. We are here freezing our asses off outside of the Corova, but none better than for a band that we truly love and admire. Great master musicians. Brings me great pleasure to welcome from Colorado, Greg of the band ALLEGAEON. How you doing, man?
I have a stupid facial haircut, but apart from that, I'm okay. I'm being chilly. I mean, it's a little chilly, but I'm layers.
You look comfortable, man. You look happy, and you have great spirits, and that's what we want tonight. So thank you for taking the time to talk with us here at Rob's MetalWorks.
You're very welcome.
We are big fans of the band, man, as I was telling you, especially with your latest release. And before we get into it, though, you know, it seems like Proponent for Sentience has really, you know, garnished the band a lot of new fans. But there's still some people out there maybe who have just heard the name or are still coming on board. And for some of those new peeps, share a little bit briefly about the history of ALLEGAEON.
Okay. We kind of formed like in 2006. I didn't really join the band until 2007. And then we changed our name from Allegiance to ALLEGAEON. Because we were getting litigation letters, and then so we never wanted to go through that again, so we just threw vowels at a stupid, and it means nothing. It's a stupid name, and it's like hurt us more than helped us. No one knows how to say it. No one knows
Spell
how
it.
I can spell it. Yeah, it's stupid. And then people quit. People got fired. Fast forward a couple years, here we are, 4 albums in on Metal Blade, and Good guys, and I'm still losing people. So.
Let's talk about what you guys are delivering, because definitely, I mean, when people hear your music or people see the performance, one of the things that you definitely have to come to grips with is that, you know, these guys are great musicians. They're masters of their instruments, and I don't even want to go as far to say like they're musicians for musicians, because you guys are so damn technical. Talk a little bit about what you're delivering musically. I've heard a lot of different, you know, tags, and I hate to put labels on any band, but you as a member, what do you like to call it?
It's kind of weird because there's lots of, like, everyone wants this genre specify something, and I mean, we get labeled tech death a lot, but I think that's kind of insult to actual tech death bands, because it's not like through composed, like it's very pop song structures, so there's like verses and choruses, so it's kind of like, I don't know, tech death mixed with, you know, the Gothenburg melodic death metal scene with other shit thrown in, prog, lots of prog. Yeah.
And you, man, you're just a stellar guitar player.
Oh,
I have to tell you that on camera. I love your playing. I mean, geez.
It was a lot of time in a practice room in college. Yeah. Yeah.
Now look at you.
I still have no life. Still.
So let's talk about your latest Metal Blade release. Came out back in late September. For all of you people out there who don't yet know about it, it's called Proponent for Sentience. And obviously, before we get into the musical part, because we've talked a little bit about it, I have to talk about, you know, lyrically, the concept of this record, obviously, because of the title, and then some of the title tracks, 1, 2, and 3. And can you just share a little bit about the concept of Proponent for Sentience?
Yeah, sure. It's based on a couple interviews that Stephen Hawking did. So he did an interview with John Oliver Tonight here in the U.S., and then he did one with the BBC, and he was just going over his theories as far as what artificial intelligence will involve, what it could evolve into, and not the distant future, like it could happen. And you know, we're science nerds, so I was like, oh hell yeah! And then we did it, and it's just a really stupid knockoff of Terminator at the end of the day.
Skynet!
Yeah, that's really what it was. And we finished it, and like, aw, man, I thought we were being so original, and then it was like, no, it's Terminator. Yeah.
For some of you people out there who don't know who Stephen Hawking is, he is the actually world-renowned physicist.
Yes, yeah.
He was stricken with Lou Gehrig's disease, actually, and can only communicate, I think, by like flicking his eyes or something like that.
Yeah, he has the computer program. Yeah. Which we got a hold of, so you can hear a little bit of Stephen Hawking's. It's not really Stephen Hawking, but.
So there's actually like three title tracks. Okay, the conception, the algorithm, and then the extinction. Yeah. Obviously, an ominous kind of third part there, and we're gonna talk more about part 3 because that song is really cool. but just to get your personal feedback on there, is the emergence of AI really, do you feel, will be an ominous thing for mankind?
I mean, it really depends on your perspective. I mean, it goes with the title, proponent for sentience. Like, technology is great. Like, we have cell phones and we have all this stuff, and like, it can really help humanity. Like, nanorobotics help medicine and like exploration, and then, we're stupid humans in the U.S., so what's going in the military, and they're gonna do stupid shit. And then, oh, can I cuss on here?
Sure.
Okay, sorry, or not. Do you like that? And then, oh yeah, and then if it depends if you're like a malcontent or not. If you're kind of a misanthrope, then yeah, bring on extinction. So that's a positive outlook. If you're a misanthropist,
Right.
then it's a total positive record.
It sounds great on the stereo. I mean, I think most people kind of may have an ominous feeling that technology is going to be the end of mankind, or AI, should I say. We even see now kind of a generation of young people who are enamored with their technologies, and we do not yet see the repercussions of that as they become adults. Regurgitating information, info saturation. We do not know how that's going to affect this younger generation, or society, even as we've known it in the past few decades.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be really interesting to see how society will evolve from, even if we just take in a Facebook context, the keyboard warriors, and how they would deal with a real conflict. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, Facebook's not real life. It's not real life. It's okay to like get in a fight on Facebook and it not bother you, because it's really not important. Like, go outside. I have to tell me that time. I'm like, I'm going outside. Yeah, if Facebook bothers you, it shouldn't. So, but yeah, it'd be really interesting to see how that's gonna happen. Because I'm a teacher, so I teach a lot of kids, and I, technology is great, man. Like learning music has never been easier, right? And that's why you're getting such great players now, because everything's accessible, and music's so accessible, and like that's one of the great things about technology. But we're also, how it's going to affect the interpersonal relationships of just people, remains to be seen.
Some 12-year-old kids in this room saying, "How did Greg play that lick? Let me Google it."
Yeah. Look it on YouTube.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Back to the record. Obviously, this release was also kind of quite significant for the band, because it, premiered the vocals of Riley McShane, your new vocalist. Obviously, I think the fans have kind of embraced him and embraced the record. What did he kind of bring into the band?
He's an incredible talent, and it's always great. The downside of lineup changes is, people get attached to who's in it, The upside is you bring in a new guy with new talents and new, skill set, and every lineup change is an opportunity to get someone better, because I hate lineup changes. I'm like, great, I have to do this again, but the cool part is, like, man, I'm going to get someone that's like, on his game, and Riley and I have been friends for like so long. It was like an easy choice. Hey, Jeremy.
Great. Yeah, he's a great guy, and from what I've seen online and what I've heard on the CD, definitely a great addition to the band. And musically, again, you guys really kind of, I think more so than in past releases, are kind of showcasing more of this kind of your acoustic work and some of this kind of softer side of the flamenco guitar you've been doing. And you play that on the Ex Machina song. Is that something that's kind of always intrigued you, that type of guitar playing?
Yeah, well, that was my my college years, and that's really what my plan is. My fallback plan was to be the classical guitar player and get my doctorate and go do that. And it hasn't stopped, It's just kind of put on the shelf. I was getting my master's when I joined this band. I love classical guitar. I love flamenco. It's just like, it's a part of who I am. That's part of my electric playing. I'm actually probably a better classical player than I am electric. I struggle really hard with the electric, whereas classical is very. It's just a different instrument, right? It just is more natural. It's more connected to you. I find it more expressive, where I really struggle with that expressiveness on electric.
You had a guest guitar player play on the third title track. Ben Ellis from Scar Cemetery. That dude's amazing too.
Yeah, he's one of my guitar heroes.
Really?
Yeah, I love
Wow.
Ben. Yeah, it was funny because when Ryan quit, our original guitar player went looking for. I was like, who am I gonna get? And I saw a video of Ben playing, and I had no clue he was British. I had no clue he was in Bloodshot Dawn. And I hit him up, and he's like, "Oh, dude, I love your band." I was like, "Ha, I love the way you play. You wanna?"
He's a fairly young cat though, right?
Yeah. And then I found I'm like, where's this guy from? As I'm talking to him, like, oh, that's definitely not gonna work, you know. And then we're talking. He's like, yeah, I'm in Bloodshot Dawn. I was like, no shit, I love your band too. And then he joins like one of my favorite bands of all time and one of his. So yeah, man, he's amazing. I'm so happy for him.
Yeah, the solo that he did just came out seamlessly. That sounded awesome.
Yeah, it was. It's funny. He's kind of had a bigger impact on Allegion than he knows, because normally how we've always done things is I write my songs, my guitar player writes his, and then he was like, yeah, your solo's here, figure it out, when you go and write. And sometimes it's not your best work because it's just forced into this thing, but he was totally like, hey, can I change this? It's not, I have this other idea and it's not going to work over this. And we're like, yeah, go ahead.
And I think kind of like an easy assumption would be that Allegion would want Speed from Soilworks singing on one of their tracks, because obviously many fans and critics alike have kind of linked the Allegion sound to that Gothenburg type of style that Soilwork does and Dark Tranquillity does. So kind of having him on the CD was kind of not a huge surprise, but also a very cool surprise for the fans. And what he did too sounded really good.
Yeah, it's funny when he sent me the tracks, I teared up a little bit. Like I was just like, oh my, like he totally blew me away, and I was just like, man, like Speed singing on one of my songs, those like lyrics I wrote, man, it's like, it was weird, very cool.
I can't quite recall off the top of my head a real metal band that would cover a Rush song, or a band that could really even cover a Rush song, much less. And you guys did, and you did it well. Why Rush, and why that track?
We actually did 2 Rush songs. We did Animate and Subdivisions. And Animate, I think, is coming out next year for like a one-off for some people. Well, no one has, so
right.
There you go.
Exclusive.
Yeah. Just so people don't think, man, this band, they're one-trick pony. All they do is Rush. No, we did. Both of those tracks are supposed to be bonus tracks. One for Europe, one for Japan, and then that didn't happen. So Metal Blade loves Subdivisions, and you got to put that in the record. I'm like, really? Well, you're happy. If you're happy, I'm happy. If your label's happy, he's like, cool. It's weird to me because it doesn't sound like anything else that we've ever done, but it was just supposed to be bonus track. But
you played Fort Worth yesterday on December 8th. The passing of Dimebag Darrell. Share a little bit about maybe your thoughts on what Dimebag Darrell meant to you as a guitar player, and what was the atmosphere like yesterday in Fort Worth?
Well, let's start with Fort Worth first. Fort Worth is this weird, I almost feel like, I ask this to people every time I go to Fort Worth. I'm like, what is it about Fort Worth? I feel in Texas, like if you go play a show in Dallas, it's amazing. Like Houston, it's amazing. San Antonio, it's great. Austin is out in this world. Fort Worth, it's like people in Texas think they're gonna get herpes if they go there. And it's weird. It's like 45 minutes from Dallas. You go to Dallas, man, the place is packed. Go to Fort Worth. I'm not going to Fort Worth. Why? I hate Fort Worth. Why? I don't understand it. Maybe it's because I'm not a Texan, and that's maybe what it is.
Greg, it's been a great chat with you. Thank you so much for your enthusiasm and for giving us all in this interview. Any last words for the people out there, your fans who support Allegion, who support your guitar playing? Anything I missed? Anything you want to share for people around the world who will see this interview?
Just thank you.
The latest from the band is called Proponent for Sentience. It is chilly.
You're gonna warm up. He's gonna warm up.
Proponent for Sentience. It's out on the Metal Blade Records label. Be sure to go pick it up, download it after you see this interview. You saw the man Greg of the band right here on Rob's MetalWorks.